Imagine standing on the desolate, gray surface of the moon. It's December 1972, and the Apollo 17 astronauts are about to leave. Little do they know, this will be the last time humans will set foot on the lunar surface for decades, possibly a lifetime. The world watched in awe as we achieved what once seemed impossible, landing on the moon. But after that triumphant moment, a lingering question remains. Why haven't we gone back? Why, with all the advancements in technology, have we not returned to the one place that captured the imagination of generations? The Apollo program ended with the bang of success, yet the silence that followed has left many puzzled. Is there more to the story than we've been told? As the dust settled on the moon, so did an air of mystery here on Earth. What happened? Was it fear, money, politics, or something far more complex? This is the question that has echoed for over 50 years. Ever since Apollo 17 marked the last mission to the moon, the whispers began. Some claim it was all a hoax, staged on a Hollywood set to fool the world. Others believe NASA encountered something unexpected on the lunar surface, something they didn't want us to see. Were there secrets on the moon, or was it simply a mission well completed, with no need to return? These theories have fueled countless documentaries, books, and debates. But what's the truth? Was the moon landing fake, or are these just stories spun from our fascination with the unknown? If you're ready to dive deeper into the truth behind these mysteries, hit that subscribe button now and join us as we uncover the facts. The journey has just begun. As thrilling as the Apollo missions were, there was a hefty price tag attached. In the 1960s and 70s, the United States was spending billions of dollars to send humans to the moon. The Apollo program alone cost over $25 billion, equivalent to more than $150 billion today. That's the kind of money that could fund entire countries' economies. So after the success of Apollo 17, with the space race effectively won, the question of why not return became more of a can we afford to? The excitement of exploration was dampened by the cold reality of budget cuts and shifting national priorities. Sending humans to the moon isn't just about building a rocket, it's about the resources, the technology, and the people, all of which come at an extraordinary cost. With the public's interest waning and other issues taking precedence, returning to the moon no longer seemed justifiable to many. The price wasn't just financial though. The risks to human life, the challenges of space travel, and the immense effort required led decision makers to reconsider the focus of space exploration. But as we'll see, it wasn't just money that kept us grounded. Other forces were at play. In the 1960s, the space race was the ultimate battleground for global supremacy. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a fierce competition to prove who was the superior superpower. Landing a man on the moon was not just about exploration. It was about prestige, power, and proving to the world who was on top. But after the Apollo 11 triumph, and with Apollo 17 closing the chapter on lunar missions, the urgency faded. The U.S. had won the space race, and with victory in hand, the political landscape began to shift. The Cold War tensions that had fueled the desire to reach the moon were easing, and politicians were starting to ask, what's the point of going back? At the same time, public interest in space exploration was waning. People had seen it. Man had walked on the moon, and for many, that was enough. The excitement of space travel no longer gripped the nation the way it had during the first moon landing. Other concerns, like the Vietnam War and domestic issues, began to take precedence. As the 1970s unfolded, the space race lost its momentum, and so did the political will to continue lunar exploration. The moon, once a symbol of triumph, was now seen as a destination already conquered. But what came next would surprise everyone. Space was far from finished with us. While the political and financial reasons were clear, there were also technical hurdles that couldn't be ignored. Going to the moon wasn't just a matter of strapping astronauts to a rocket and hitting go. Each mission required thousands of brilliant minds, cutting-edge technology, and the most complex calculations ever attempted. But by the time Apollo 17 ended, NASA had new challenges on the horizon. Space exploration wasn't just about the moon anymore. The focus was shifting to other opportunities, like developing the Space Shuttle program, sending robotic missions to Mars, and exploring the far reaches of our solar system. The technology used during Apollo was groundbreaking for its time, but the risks were high. Every mission carried the possibility of failure, or worse, the loss of life. To go back to the moon safely would require significant advancements in technology and infrastructure, something that couldn't happen overnight. NASA had to balance their resources carefully, and they decided to explore new frontiers. The moon had been conquered, but there was so much more out there. So the world turned its gaze beyond the lunar surface, to the planets, stars, and mysteries waiting to be uncovered. But the moon never lost its allure, and as we'll see, a return was always in the cards. As the 1970s turned into the 1980s and beyond, the space race was no longer about who could plant a flag on the moon. Instead, a new era of space exploration was dawning, one that looked beyond our closest celestial neighbor. NASA began focusing on long-term projects, like the Space Shuttle, which promised reusable space vehicles, and the Hubble Space Telescope, which would peer deeper into the universe than ever before. The moon, once a beacon of ambition, now seemed like a stepping stone. The excitement shifted towards Mars, the outer planets, and even the search for life beyond Earth. Robotic explorers like the Voyager probes ventured far into the cosmos, capturing images and data that captivated the imagination in ways the moon no longer could. Other nations also joined the quest. Countries like China, India, and private companies such as SpaceX started to push the boundaries of space travel. The dream of interplanetary travel took hold. Why return to the moon when we could go further, see more, and push humanity's limits even farther? This new wave of space exploration broadened our understanding of the universe and brought innovations that we benefit it from today, but the moon still lingered in our collective memory, quietly waiting. And now, after decades of looking beyond, the moon is calling us back. Today, we stand on the edge of a new era of lunar exploration, with NASA's Artemis program leading the charge. But this time, it's not just about planting another flag or taking a few steps. This time, we're going back to stay. The Artemis mission aims to return humans to the moon, but with an even bigger vision, establishing a sustainable presence. This isn't just a mission for the United States. It's an international effort, bringing together space agencies, private companies, and new technologies. The plan is to build bases, explore deeper, and use the moon as a stepping stone for future missions to Mars. This new chapter in lunar exploration is driven by more than competition. It's fueled by the desire to expand human presence beyond Earth, to innovate, and to create a new era of space travel that could change the course of history. The challenges are immense, but the possibilities are endless. The moon, once a symbol of conquest, is now the gateway to our future in space. The Artemis mission is set to take us further than we've ever gone before, this time with the promise that we're not just visiting, we're here to stay. As we prepare to return to the moon, we're not just looking back at what was accomplished, but forward to what's possible. The moon is no longer just a destination. It's a launchpad for the next giant leap, from lunar bases to mining resources, and even testing technologies. For future Mars missions, the moon is set to become a hub of human activity in space. But what's even more exciting is the idea that this return to the moon is just the beginning. It opens the door to a future where humanity is no longer confined to Earth. Imagine a world where lunar colonies thrive, where rockets launch from the moon to distant planets, and where the stars feel just a little bit closer. The challenges will be great, but so too will be the rewards. The moon holds secrets yet to be uncovered, resources that could change our technological future, and lessons that will prepare us for the next frontier, Mars and beyond. So as we prepare to take this next step, we're reminded that the journey into space is far from over. It's just getting started. The future of exploration, innovation, and discovery awaits us.